Okay, let's give this a go. I've been playing around with these wonderful new AIs, so I think that gives you an idea of how much I'm enjoying them. And I'm particularly interested in the idea that they give us an insight into our own stereotypes. After all, these are trained on millions of images and text, so what does it say about our own stereotypes? So it's so easy to get sidetracked when you're playing with these things. This is just one example, and how I came to look at Brexit. So I started off my journey looking at horse statues and whether they represent us looking at horses as partners or looking at them as servants. I'll leave that for another day. And then I started looking at what AI thought of the area that I live in West Cork, which is at the bottom of Ireland. And I was comparing West Cork people to other people in Ireland and then other countries. And when I asked for Britain and the UK, I got all these flags. Now, I hadn't had flags for any other country, so I thought it was a bit odd, because I wouldn't have thought the Brits were particularly overtly patriotic. And then I thought, yeah, so this is about Brexit, isn't it? So the TLDR of this is that, yeah, there are some strange inbuilt biases in Midjourney. Most people are men, so you'll see very few women in these slides. And people seem to be pretty grumpy by default. And the other learning is that the Brexit campaign have been hugely successful in making it about sovereignty. At least that would be my analysis. You can view these images and see what you think. So I just thought I'd explore a bit more and zip over to ChatGPT to see what it thought about Brits as being patriotic. And when I said, what are the most patriotic countries? Yeah, no UK there. When I dug a bit deeper to say, is this about displaying national flags? Again, no sign of the UK in that one. So that led me to think, yeah, it's got to be about Brexit, hasn't it? So I started putting prompts into Midjourney around Brexit and the flags. Lots of flags. More flags. The benefits of Brexit? I'm not sure what those images mean. Happy people in Britain, in post-Brexit Britain. Interestingly, this seems to be the demographic that voted most in favour of Brexit. Some seriously unhappy people. What does Brexit mean for the rest of the world? Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Or Europe. Is that giving you any messages? I'm not sure what to make of it. Looking at these ones for Ireland, I thought that looks like Northern Ireland to me, so dug a little deeper. After Brexit and before Brexit. And here's where I went down a rabbit hole. So I thought, Northern Ireland looks rather small on those maps, doesn't it? So back to ChatGPT again. And knowing that there can be misleading errors when you're looking at maps depending on the projection, I thought, let's just see what the proportion of Northern Ireland is compared to the rest of Great Britain. So here we go, it's about 6%, according to ChatGPT. What about population figures? No, it's about 3%, so actually that map is not unreasonable. And then I got curious about, so what about the revenue from, tax revenue from Northern Ireland? And it's quite similar to the population. And actually, if you look at the figures for population, for tax revenue versus population, 84% for England, 84% in terms of tax revenue. Thought that's curious. So asked ChatGPT, and this is the power of ChatGPT, to compare those values and give me some numbers, which it kindly did. And then I was curious about, okay, if the average tax revenue per head of population is 12,000. Clearly, the average household or the average person is not paying 12,000, so where does that come from? And here we go, ChatGPT giving us a list of them. Yes, can I have them as a proportion, please? In the new version of ChatGPT, you'll be able to get charts, but now we just have to do with percentages. So here we go, income tax about a quarter, and national insurance about 20%, VAT about 20%, and a few other ones. And I just quickly went into Google and found this chart from the ONS. So they're not exactly like for like, but it looks about right. But it's really important with ChatGPT. If it's important, don't trust it for accuracy. I've seen some glaring errors in there, and I love this image. I asked Midjourney to do me an image. Now we've got Trump promoting that we fact check. Isn't that a wonderful irony? Okay, let's get back out of this rabbit hole and just explain how Midjourney is actually working and how I'm generating these images. So it's very simple. You give it a text prompt. So you say, Brexit is a game for all the family to enjoy, and it starts work, and it generates a random fuzz, if you like, and then gradually out of the mist it will start to resolve into an image. So you get an image like this, one in the center, and from that you can choose to run it again, and you may get a totally different set of images like the ones on the right, or you can choose to upscale the images or just pick one and do a variation on that particular image. So that's how Midjourney works. And here are a few more images I had in my wanderings. Picasso's take on Brexit. Yeah, sometimes you have an idea in your head and Midjourney just doesn't oblige. So yeah, anyway, there's still a flag. I rather enjoyed this one. Yeah, not quite sure what this one is saying. There's a lot of rain in many of these images. So I tried even harder. Come on. Everything we hoped for. Again. Yeah. So I also went through Midjourney and looked at where other people had used Brexit. So here's somebody who's done Brexit by Banksy. And somebody who's done this entertaining one. No flag! Hooray! This one. This was inspired by somebody else that it's interesting to go through and see the prompts that other people are using, and then you can adapt to them, suit yourself. And finishing up with this one. So I hope you're going to go and explore and have some fun with these AIs. Who knows where it's going, whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, and most likely a mixture of both. But I think we all need to get to grips with what it can do and particularly what it can't do. So a good place to start, if you've got your web browser, just go to stablediffusionweb.com and you get straight in there. You can put in a text prompt, you get an image. DALL-E 2 will generate more arty type images than Midjourney. Midjourney is quite realistic, but they're all very easy to use and yeah, very entertaining. So I'm really interested to see how this journey continues. Thank you for watching. Bye.